Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome to today's episode of 49 Faithfullee. We're your hosts, Miriah Lee and Teran Lewis, and today we're joined by a very special guest. You guys know him as SwanSong. What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
What up?
Doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Good, good. Sorry we're late. I had technical difficulties. My computer decided not to want to work as soon as it was time to start. But we're here. Have no fear.
Better late than never, they say, right?
Yep, that's right. 49ers throwback, first in the door. We appreciate you. Joel, Tia, what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Before we jump into football talk, I wanted to touch on something, and I didn't tell you that we're touching on it because I just wanted to get your surprised, honest feedback.
All right.
Um, we've talked about something off air, of course, several times, probably dating back to almost a year ago. Um, when you first started the show, like we've had this talk multiple times. That's something I'm big on is, and I think this is part of the reason why we, like linked up so well. And I knew like I wanted you to be like a permanent co-host was because stuff that's important to me is also important to you. One being that the people that are here supporting us from day one will continue to be important all the way through, no matter how big this channel gets. Like I'm really big. Obviously, we know I'm giving back to everybody, and that's just so that I can show my appreciation to you guys. You guys have been there when I had 5 subscribers to 300 subscribers to hopefully one day, a lot more. But um, you had posted a tweet yesterday, and it almost marked my exact words that I have told you in the past. Uh, let's talk about that tweet a little bit. What you tweeted and kind of what your thoughts were on that.
So I'm the type of person who observes a lot of things from the outside looking in. So I've been looking at some of these channels, and I support all the Niner fam. Like I love everybody. I love what everybody does. I love I'm not you're the main host. I'm the co-host, so I don't know what goes on well, from behind the scenes, setting up the stream yards and stuff like that. But it's just not easy. We all pretty much have families. We can be doing anything else. We can be doing anything else. I can be out at the gun range shooting my guns right now. I can be no seriously, like because I love to shoot my guns. I can be shooting my guns right now, whatever the case may be. But yet I'll support the Niner fan because because it's nice to have support as well. Although I don't care about clout, I don't care about who tells me anything. However, it bothers me that I've seen people who have started off small, just like us, start off small, but then they hit a certain amount of subscribers and then they forget about people. And I've seen people tweet them, on the timeline, and they just kind of skip over them because they're now like a nobody to them in my eyes. This is just my opinion now. It's just from what I'm observing. However, it's validating that I had so many people hit me up in my DMs and text me saying, hey, I feel the same way. So yeah, I just don't like the fact that they'll skip over certain tweets from people that I know been following them because I've been following them the same amount of time, and
Mm-hmm.
yet unless you're a blue check mark or unless you're a podcaster that has a lot of followers, 3 or 4 thousand followers, that you interact with them, and now it's like, oh well, you're not a podcaster, you only have 500 subscribers, so you're a peasant. You know what I'm saying? That's what it feels like. And
Yeah.
I'm just not feeling that. Like I keep it real. I'm not saying, and I'm not saying this because I'm trying to toot my own horn, this and that. I'm too old for games. I like to show appreciation. Life is short, and I know it's just Twitter. I get it. At the same time, you don't know whose day that you made. You don't know how people feel unless you let them know. So that's why I respect you, because you have your box of cards, and we do a giveaway every single show. For our 1 year anniversary show, we're giving away some stuff and we don't get any money on this channel. We don't get super chats. We don't get any of that. But I spent my hard-earned money going out and buying stuff to give back to people because that's how much I respect you guys for putting your time into us when you can be doing anything else you want to do. So that's where that tweet came from. So yeah, if you listen to our channel as a podcaster, if you feel some type of way, then maybe I'm talking about you, because usually when you feel guilty is when you start feeling some type of way. So that's why I tweeted what I did, because I'm a real one. You're a real one, and we give back to people. And I don't care if I don't care we're at 300 subscribers or 300,000. I'm gonna do the best I can to acknowledge every single one of you, because we wouldn't be here without you. So that's where it came from.
Yeah, thank you. And like sometimes I feel like we probably, might get on your guys' nerves because, we're always like, thank you, we appreciate you, over and over and over like a broken record. But, like it really comes from the heart when we're telling you. It's not just something, that we're now programmed to tell you guys. Like, I don't need to get up here and tell you guys any BS, I tell you guys exactly how I feel. I tell you whatever, so that's how I'm always going to be. I'm always going to keep it real with you guys. And whether, people don't like that, some people don't, and there's plenty of other channels to go to. And you guys choose to come here. You guys kick it with us, whether there's other shows on, it doesn't matter. You guys will be here, so we really appreciate it. And like we said, it doesn't matter how big we get. Like I know who's been in this channel from day one. So that's never going to be like go from my head, because I know when it was like a struggle to have 2, 3, 4 people in the chat, but I know who those 3, 4, 5 people were, I know when there's 20 of you guys in this chat now, I know who every single one of you guys are. Like, that's not going to ever go from my brain, from my memory. So I just want to let you guys know that you guys really are important. We obviously couldn't do this. We do this because of you guys. We couldn't do this without you guys. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that before we got into football. Swan, if you have anything you would like to say.
No, I was gonna say that, like, when I first started watching you guys, like, I really dug the vibe, right? Like, you guys are chill, measured. You guys have good takes, and and I stayed. Like, so, there's a lot of content creators, and I couldn't always be there, but I always try to be there. And if I don't, like, I always try. Like, if I'm not gonna go to a show, I'll click on the notifications, and then if I don't have time to watch it, I'll like it anyways and come back to it when I get a chance, right? But I make sure that I like it, just because I know all those little things matter, right? And then when you guys started doing all your giveaway stuff, and I was like, oh my God, because I was cheering for you guys. I'm like, I remember I would tell you, like, I can you get to 1,000 already so I can give you some? Can I give back? Because you guys give so much. It's crazy how much you guys give, and it is. Like, I don't even know how you guys do it, to be honest. Like, I don't know how you guys do it. And I wish everything the best for you guys. And, I just wish you guys all the success.
Thank you.
I appreciate that, Swan.
And I know that, like, I'm just going to put out some of our business out here, that you had recently, like, reached out to me, like, saying that we should, start like putting some info out there, to get like donations, maybe to help, like start up, whether it is to like send us to a game or to whatever, and like I told you, like I just feel so weird about that. Like, that's something like, and me and TL have talked about that before, that it's not about the money, and giving back is never like, I never give to somebody expecting what am I going to get in return down the road, like that's never what it's going to be about. But, I thought about it, and obviously the channel's not monetized. So, you have to meet certain guidelines to get that done. You have to have over 1,000 subscribers and, have a certain amount of watch hours. So I did, put like some info, not on this screen because we have 3 people, but on our main screen when it's just me and TL, there is, our like payment info, in case, never do we expect anything. So I don't want anybody to ever feel like you have to give us anything, but Swan brought it to my attention. So I was just putting it out there, but please I don't want you guys to ever think that it's about any of that, because it'll never be about that.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off that, and I feel the same way. Like, I just love talking 49ers football with my Niner fam every week. Like that's the joy I get out of it. I don't care about putting any money in my pocket. I don't care about any of that, and I promise you that. Like I don't. I mean, like I said, I do pretty well financially. I'll put it that way. So I don't expect like to be like, oh man, no, nobody super chatted us, nobody did that. I do what I love, and I love talking with you guys, everybody in the chat. SwanSong, you coming on here like this is to me, this is being paid. You know what I mean? Being able to meet people, vibe with people, and being able to talk to people with my Niner fam about the team that we all love. So,
Yep, I agree. All right, so that's enough of that. What's up, everybody that we missed that came in since? Collie, Brandon. I think that we got everybody. We appreciate you guys. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing wonderful. Um, and like it seemed like most of everybody agreed with us and are feeling the same way of that tweet that you put out. So, like real quick before we move on, like when I first had brought that up to you, that like even I was feeling some type of way that I'd go into people's chats, even people that I talk to in the DMs and stuff, and I go into their streams and stuff, and like they act like I don't even exist anymore, and it's like I had brought that to your attention, and like I was like, well, maybe this is kind of weird, or I'm just like making shit up, or like in my feelings or whatever. And so then to have you validate it, all these months later, and now to have all these other people, people that have DM'd you or messaged you, and now people in the chat and everybody, other people that are also feeling the same way, makes me feel a little bit better that I'm not that crazy after all. All right, so 49ers and Green Bay. 49ers, of course, beat Green Bay like they always do. 21 versus 28. I mean, 21, 28. It was good to see, the youngins get in there, the guys that are fighting for those roster spots. A lot of rookies made some great plays. It was good to see Trey Lance get in there and get some action, even though it wasn't for long. I think he finished 4 of 5 for 92 yards and a touchdown. All 3 quarterbacks got a touchdown, so that was good to see. No interceptions. I think, we had talked about this on the stream prior to the game, about you questioning the backup quarterback spot and whatnot. And, like the quarterbacks actually looked pretty decent. I know that they were going against 3rd, 4th string, whatever, but those are still players that made it to the NFL as well. Like we're not expecting these quarterbacks to be starters either. And they all looked okay. I mean, I still don't think Purdy's arm, like it just seems like his passes stay in the air forever. Like they're like on a feather, like floating up there forever. Like,
like you
shit.
put too much
like,
air
come down
over it.
already.
Yeah.
What were your guys' overall thoughts of the game? Any players that obviously we had some players that secured roster spots and we've seen some cuts happen because of it. So any players that stuck out to you guys and
Go ahead,
your
Swan.
thoughts?
You can go ahead first. Go ahead and go first.
Yeah, like of course, at the beginning of preseason, like it's always all eyes on Trey when he's out there, right? Because it's like that's every 49ers paying attention to that, right? I thought he came out and had he looked a lot more improved than he did, previous times we've seen him, right? And sure, it was still a little jittery, and the reason how I explained the jitteriness is that he kind of threw really hard that one pass play to hard and high to Dwelly. So that kind of gave me like, okay, like that's an easy pass, right? Like so that's a real easy pass. And so when someone doesn't execute that, and especially if they throw it hard, it kind of makes you feel a certain way, right? But then he also settled down. He had that great, play that, we've seen everyone talk about now where he, the pocket's collapsing. He goes to the second level right before the line of scrimmage. He plants like faking that he's going to throw again. And then that makes the linebacker stay home. And then he's able to get almost a first down with that. Right. And then he slides. Right. And that was a new thing because that was one of the things where, hey, are we going to see Trey slide or what? Like, everyone's asking that question. And when he did it, I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like, he knows. And what he said in the press conference is like, hey, I know that I'm a detriment to this team if I'm out, right? Which is honest, right? And yeah, so it was good seeing all those things. And then of course, the bomb, like the bomb to Danny Gray. Oh my God. Like like that one pass silenced so many haters, right? Because not only it was a touch pass, even though it was a bomb, he caught Danny Gray in stride. The ball had a spiral, right? It was a tight spiral, and then Danny Gray freaking, goes clutch, stays in bounds, and takes it to the house. I was like so excited. It was like what 78 yards or whatever it was. So that was great to see. And yeah, I mean, I'll start with that. I don't want to cover it all, but I just start with Trey and go ahead and Tara.
Yeah, no, go ahead, man. But yeah, so yeah, to start off with Trey, yeah, that's awesome. And before I go on to my analysis, I saw something on the timeline today, and somebody had a nickname for Danny Gray already. They called him Danny Greyhound, which I thought is pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's pretty good.
I like that. I'm like, yeah, Greyhound dogs are known as one of the fastest dogs out there. So yeah, I think that's a pretty awesome name. So yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to Trey. He settled down. After that, after a couple throws or whatever the case may be. And I know he's gonna make his mistakes. I totally believe, and it sucks. I watched the game at Buffalo Wild Wings, so it was loud, and so I didn't really get to hear like all the talking that was going on. But the fact I think that Trey will settle down once he trusts his offensive line. Like I think he's like, I think a lot of those throws were rushed because he's like, I just need to get the ball out of my hands, like just hurry up and
Yeah.
get the ball out. So, yeah, but the fact that he went 4 for 5 was amazing. And you're right, Swan. When I seen that slide, that made me happier than that throw to Danny Gray.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm like, man, he slid. Like that's awesome. Like I want to see that going forward. And you're right. Like he knows, like he's the man on this team, and he knows if he goes down, it could be problems. So we need to keep him healthy. The fact that, he said he never slid before. I don't know if he was just joking, but you look at, him in high school coming from this little town that was in the sticks, and then the college he went to, he was a man amongst boys. And now I think he realizes like I can't just be doing that. I think that game against Arizona when he came head on when Simmons was like, okay, I need to slide because this ain't the business. You know what I mean?
Hey, but
So, yeah.
he still got the better one of that.
Oh,
Simmons
for
was
sure.
knocked out. He was knocked
Yeah,
out.
Simmons was, yeah, and I think it's one of those things where it's like, man, like I need to slide because I'm not going up against dudes that I'm the better athlete against anymore. So yeah, I mean that made me happy, and like you said, that throw to Danny Gray on the sideline was beautiful. He went through his progressions. As soon as he saw Danny Gray open, he let it fly. And the amazing thing is the ball never left the screen. Like it was just such a tight spiral, perfect. He caught him in stride. Danny Gray didn't have to slow down. And I'm thinking about him like, man, like, other than the Arizona game that he played in, well, I mean, of course, against the Packers and the Lions, he came in for the one play and scored in the red zone. But if you look at it, you look at everything else against Seattle, he threw a bomb to Debo. Against who else? He threw somebody else. Oh, against the Texans, he threw a bomb to Debo. And then you see in this game, he threw a bomb to Gray. So I expect to see at least one or two of these a game. I don't know if he's always going to execute it, but the fact that it keeps the defense honest is awesome. And then once he learns how to work the underneath routes and stuff like that, he's gonna be unstoppable. So yeah, I like that. Obviously, so the offensive line to me is still a little shaky. I'm still worried. I'm gonna be worried until I see something different. On the defense, the secondary looked good. Samuel Womack was somebody I didn't even expect to start. I'm gonna keep it real. I thought going into the season, I thought we would be Charvarius Ward and Jason Verrett at the outside corners and maybe Mosley in the slot. Now we're looking at Verrett probably being like a backup outside corner. You know what I mean? Yeah, I need to see more from the backup corners though. Deommodore Lenoir, Ambry Thomas. I'm a Michigan fan. Ambry Thomas, the way he's been playing is disappointing me.
Mhm.
Third round pick. Adam Peters. Banged the table for him. The fact that he has trouble getting his head around, like that bothers me. You're a third round pick, and I get it. But people say, well, he's second year. That has nothing to do with turning your head. That should be muscle memory by the time you get to the pros. That's something you learn in high school, something you learn in college to play the ball. You know what I mean? Once it's in the air. So that right there is disappointing seeing how he's struggling. I said it, I think a couple weeks ago when he was at the podium as a rookie, he made a comment of, somebody asked him, man, how do you feel about the Bay Area prices? The home apartment prices. He was like, man, it's a lot. It's going to be a lot of money. He goes, but I'm not worried about that because I'm going to let my play take care of my pockets. Well, I need to see it because
Yeah.
right now, if you don't have a good game on Saturday, you might be on your way out. So, yeah, that's what I have to say. I mean, I'm gonna leave some meat on the bone for Miriah, but yeah, that's the stuff I saw because I saw some great plays from the D line as well. So, all right, Miriah, go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, let me say what's up to everybody else that rolled in here. John V, 49er Media, Celts Chronicles. Hey, Celts, I did my shipping. Actually, all shipping went out today, and I ended up sending you that card, the one that you had given away to somebody else. He never claimed it, so I just sent it to you after all. So it'll come sooner or later, someday this week.
Cool.
Bryant, what's up? C's. Shot J. Hope you guys are all doing wonderful. Yeah, I mean, when we did our list about the top 10 players, that needed to step up for us to make a Super Bowl run, I had Womack high on that list, and specifically, I started it off with Womack because I thought that that's who would eventually win that starting job. I was thinking maybe week 2, week 3, just because, not that I didn't think he had the ability to start right away, but that's just because the way Kyle is, he's so weird about starting rookies. So, and then, starting into training camp, we heard that, he was taking second team reps, and what's his face? Darquez Denard was taking first team reps this entire time, so after this game, I don't think that they could, pretty much look at them anymore and say, well, I think, Womack cemented, okay, I'm taking that spot from Denard. And it kind of seems, they cut Denard quickly after, obviously, so probably so he could go find, catch on with another team. But it seems like, I don't want to say they were using Denard, but maybe they were, because, like Kyle and John both are really big about making rookies have to earn the spot, right? So, like, they're not going to just go into training camp and throw Womack in there with the first teams without him having earned anything. I think Womack earned that spot, and we saw Denard out the door, so unfortunately that's what happens with rookies with vets that been in the league for a while and like aren't at the top of their class anymore. They kind of just, go from training camp to training camp, waiting for people to get injuries and catch on somewhere. So,
yeah.
But yeah, Womack had a great game, 2 interceptions. One thing that we've been talking tirelessly about is that this defense doesn't get interceptions, doesn't get turnovers. Hopefully that changes now that, because these weren't like just passes that were tipped and then, he intercepted it. Like these were, he cut off the route and intercepted it. He snatched the ball right out of somebody else's hands. Like that guy was a punk, like.
Yeah, he had sticky coverage and it's like, and I did some reading on him, and so he came from Toledo, right? And one of the things why he wasn't recognized out of high school that much is because he also loved basketball, right? So, you're at a small high school as it is. You're in, I don't even know where Toledo is. What state is that?
It's in Ohio.
Okay, Ohio. Okay, so then like small high school, not a high school that gets a lot of people, that makes a lot of noise, right, and things like that. And he was also distracted with playing basketball. So then, I don't know how he got to Toledo, but somehow he caught the eye of the coach at Toledo, right? And his DB coach was a former pro. I don't know what his name is, and like I guess he credits a lot of his man-to-man skills on his DB coach. And he was like he had mentioned that coach was like his cheat code, like to get him ready for, to make it to the NFL. And for him to be drafted in the 5th round, dude, coming from Toledo, that says a lot more, right? Because if he's from Ohio State, then it's kind of like, okay, he's a second round rounder. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you get drafted from a small school like that, you're doing something right, because so many people will doubt it. So many people will be going against the grain because they don't want to look like fools. Like, let's face it, all these scouts and all, they're people that have reputations to uphold, right? Like, they're not just going to cape for some player in Toledo and risk their reputation and career, right? So when someone stands out from a small school, you know it's something, right? There's something about that player that makes a scout risk his reputation for that, right? And I don't think that gets talked about enough, right? And if you look, like, I sent you guys some of the RAS scores, like the relative athletic scores, some of the measurables that Womack had,
Yeah.
like, or has. He's a short in stature guy. He's like 5'9"ish, 5'10", 5'9", 5'10". He
Yeah.
doesn't look like it though. Like when you see him, at least to me, he doesn't look like a small dude, right? At least on the field he doesn't. But he has almost 32-inch arms, dude.
I was going to say his arms were
Like
very
he
long.
has long arms. And then if you look at his 40, I think he was clocked at 4.39.
Yep.
That's like over 9 point something on the RAS. His 20-yard split is 2.48 seconds, which is 9.92, which is, that's elite, right?
Yeah.
And his 10-yard split is 8.35, decent, right? So it's like he has these measurables to do that, and he has the skill set, because it's not just this athletic kid, right? You obviously saw it, right? Because I think he flashed in OTAs, and I think although he was in second and third team during camp, he was starting to flash. People were starting to mention his, like, hey, Womack did a good job. Womack did a good job. And then we see in this game, he's sticking, and he's that sticky coverage. And that's why these things, like, come on, like, we all know a big element of interceptions is luck, right? But it also, you create your own luck, right? So if you have sticky coverage and you're by the ball, good things can happen, right? So
correct, yeah. And then to me, that second interception to me was more impressive. He looked like a vet out there. Like you said, it's like he read the quarterback's eyes. He saw the ball was coming and he jumped the route and snatched that ball. So that was very impressive. So, yeah, I mean, I got to give a shout out to the 49ers, man. That scout team and then day 3, they find these gems.
Yeah,
like let's just throw away the first to fourth round and start picking. Yeah. Give me 7 5th-round picks. And let's just do that. Like, I mean, they just, like, they're awesome when it comes to drafting these gems in that round, man. Whether it's Kittle or, we're looking at Samuel Womack, Juwan Jennings, Elijah Mitchell, like that day 3, man, is just amazing. So, yeah, I mean, I think hopefully, the Niners didn't really jump the gun, because there's a lot of 49ers faithful who wanted Denard to stay to at least the second preseason game. But you know what? We're not there every day. So maybe, D'Amico Ryans and whoever the DB coach is, I don't know his name on top of my head, was like, you know what? It's time. Like you said, he might have it under wraps. He might have it under wraps to where they're like, okay, he's going to be our starting nickel. And like you said, it could be one of those things where it's like they respect Denard enough where it's like, it's early. We've only played one preseason game. Let me get you an opportunity to go step on somebody else's squad. So, yeah.
And since, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and since he was off the free agent market and where we nabbed him last year, right? Speaking of Denard, if we have anything happen there, right, and we're thin, chances are he's probably going to be there again, right? Like, so it's good to let him go out right now, try to look for something, and they must feel real confident when Womack is like, hey, this is good. We, why not push him in? If he shows that he can be that dude, then give him the reps. He's only going to get better by it.
Yep. Say what's up to everybody else that's rolled in. Tanya, it's okay. I'll accept that you're late this time.
Yeah, Peter,
mark you at the tardy card. The Dream, what's up, little goat? Appreciate you stopping in. Mark, what's up? Peter, what's up? I don't know if I had said what's up to David.
Got Nick in here.
Hey. Nick.
What's up, Nick? Isn't that him? Always faithful 24/7? Oh, that's Nick.
Mark.
Oh, that's Mark. Oh.
Yeah.
No, Mark, Colley's, I think that's everybody, yeah.
And then when we did the breakdowns, I had a certain Marcelino McCrary Ball making the roster. And
you did.
I think that he pushed himself further up that spot to make a roster spot as well. He looked great out there. And also, I don't know if you had watched his presser, but his presser was awesome. Like, that guy, like, I can totally tell, like, he fits perfectly with the 49ers. he was up there talking forever. Like they would ask him one question and he would just go on and on, telling the whole stories. Like I said, watch out, Trent, because you're not winning that media award this year, buddy. You got competition for that media award. Because he had a great presser. Let me see. I know there's a couple other players. Drake Jackson, he ended up leaving, with the shoulder injury that was pretty scary at the time.
Yeah.
When he played great. It was good to see him get those plays in at least before that. But when he went into the tent and then went, into the locker room, I'm like, oh shit, like this ain't good. But I think they said it was something like a stinger or whatever. Whatever. There's no actual medical term that's a stinger, so nobody really knows.
Yeah. Did you see when he was walking? Did you see his arm was like dead weight? Like he was just kind of just swinging. I'm like, oh, that ain't got. I thought like he pulled something in his shoulder or something. So the fact that they called it just a stinger was great news.
I think it's a stinger. I think what it is I only know it from football, is that it's you get hit or you hit a spot where it's a nerve, kind of like it's just like a big hit on your nerve, like that goes like your shoulder, and it just stings.
I was watching, Nothing But Niners. Shout out to them, Mike and them. They do the live watch parties on their Patreon, so I was watching with them. And from here on out, I will be doing live day streams with them as well for the game. So make sure if you guys aren't subscribed to their Patreon, you do so. But Mike, brought that to my attention, was like, or to our attention anyways, was like, look at his arm, it's like it's just hanging there. Like, so we thought for sure right then, like, oh shit, it's gonna be bad, like he's gonna need some surgery or something to get that fixed. But thankfully, he's already been back to practice, so that was good. Donovan West, he came out with, he was mostly out there with Purdy. Well, what's his face? Sherfield or whatever his damn name is. He played Sudfield, whatever his damn quarterback.
Sutherland. Oh, quarterback too. Yeah, Sudfield. Yeah.
He played for a long time. Like I was surprised that they kept him in so long. But when Purdy was out there, West was out there, and Donovan West, he looked pretty good from the center spot. That second team center that they had out there looked horrible. Like Donovan West looked way better than him. That Keaton Sutherland or whoever the hell.
Yeah.
He didn't look good, but I think Burford had a great game. Banks did well. Like I think both of them did good. A concern that I had, my biggest concern overall about this whole offensive line leading up to this point was Mike McGlinchey's health. Like if he was going to be healthy enough to come back from that injury and play. And if so, when would he be available? They did have him play in this game a little bit, and he left with an injury. Like his knee now, he's something wrong with it. They asked Shanahan if it had something to do with, the area that he had surgery on, and Shanahan says no, but it seems like it would have something to do with it. Like that would only make sense, right? So that's kind of scary, like, is he going to be able to come back? This was like only a little bit of action and he's already having issues. So I don't know. That's scary to me. But it seems like it isn't that O-line guy that we signed, Jordan Mills. Doesn't he play the same position? Or
yes.
No?
Yeah, I've heard he's been looking good. Everybody's been saying nothing but praise from him. He's a veteran. They said he's like the third best tackle on the team right now behind Trent and McGlinchey. So, I don't know. I hope that McGlinchey's healthy and he comes back. But Mills, if it was up to me, from what I've seen, he'd probably be the starting right tackle, going for week 1, because Justin School looked like a turnstile out there.
Yeah,
he was just getting manhandled.
Horrible.
He was just getting manhandled. And Colton McKivitz, I just don't think he's ready yet. I think he just, I think he's better interior anyway. He looks better as a guard to me. But yeah, Jordan Mills, to me, he looks good. So I don't know what's going on with that tackle. That tackle position, that center position, to me, are my worries.
Yeah. I feel a lot better that they did sign Jordan Mills, though, because I think if we were in this situation and had they not picked him up, like, it would be kind of scary who's going to take over for, Big Mike if he can't play.
Yeah, and
So
I guess he's been a starter for like 5 or 6 years as
Yeah,
well. Like he wasn't just like this bench warmer that's been, constantly on the bench, right? Like he started 5 or 6 years, so that's good to know.
exactly.
hey, Johnny James, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. He
I
says,
also,
"Do we see the triple option week 1?" Did you see him practicing that? There's been practice videos out of them
Yeah,
practicing that this week. That looks pretty cool.
maybe. I mean, I don't think we're gonna need to get cute. I think we're gonna go out there and absolute dog walk the Chicago Bears, but who knows?
yeah, I don't know either. It could be just them being, sly. It's kind of like, oh, we just happen to throw this triple option, just in time for the media to take images of it before we shut down practice, right? To the media, like,
Yeah,
oh, here's this one to check it out. So you never know. It might be them playing games with other teams and saying, okay, well, you guys might have to prepare for this or not.
Yeah.
yeah. Let's do a giveaway before we move on, since we
Okay.
have a bunch of people in here.
We do. Yeah.
School get cut. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so
I think it's.
too.
I think
He
it's a
looks.
wrap. It's a
Woo.
wrap for him. He looks. He looks terrible.
Enter your numbers in the chat, 1 through 100. We'll do a random poll, or save the Jalen Moore card till the end. For anybody that's new, we do giveaways, random number generator 1 through 100. So just enter a number into the chat, 1 through 100. Make sure you don't enter a duplicate. Whoever enters number first will get that number. So make sure you check and enter a new number. Yeah, I'll give you guys a few minutes and then we'll draw someone.
So I want to do a pool for you guys,
Okay.
Miriah and Teran. I want to tell the chat that anything you guys donate, I will match during this time that we're on here. So no pressure, of course. We know how that is, and if there's zero, then I will be donating anyways. But um, just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, Swan.
And shout out to Celts Chronicles because I see that he sent a payment through. I appreciate you. You didn't have to do that, but we greatly appreciate you.
Well, you got to tell me that information. So you got to add that. You got to add that to there. Or you can tell me offline. Offline, you can tell me. Offline.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about the injuries coming out of this game because it seems like we're having a lot of soft tissues injuries. Last year, ankle sprains were getting our ass, right? And now it seems like the hamstrings can't keep intact right now. So we have like half the freaking roster, I swear, out with freaking hammies. The big one, though, the most significant one, obviously, is Jimmy Ward. And that didn't even he didn't even play in this game. Shanahan spoke on it about, the injuries, specifically the soft tissue injuries, and said that most of them are coming after a player takes a day off. So Jimmy Ward took a day off, then he comes back and he practices and he pulls his hamstring. His availability for game 1, maybe game 2, who knows, is obviously in doubt. I'm not worried personally because we're playing the Bears week 1. I think that if we can't stop them, obviously with no other injuries, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If we can't stop them with our defense minus Jimmy Ward, then we have more problems to worry about because they don't have very many people to be trying to stop. So luckily, we're going against one of the worst teams in the NFL right now for week 1. Week 2, we play Seattle. So if he's not there for week 2, I feel, confident with that. Week 3 is when it starts getting a little dicey there. I would love to have him back for week 3.
Absolutely.
So if we have to rest him, if he's like, oh, okay, well, he possibly could come back week 2, but he's not, just like, don't even risk it because we need to have him healthy for week 3 and on, I feel personally. Elijah Mitchell is out with a hammy. And, part of his problems with his rookie year was that he couldn't stay healthy. He went into this now, into the off season, got surgery, put on some weight, on some muscle to try so that he can be available through the season. And we're not even through training camp, and he's already injured again. So that's kind of concerning to me. Dante Johnson, I know a lot of people, yeah, whatever, Dante Johnson, ha ha ha, but he's turned into one of our most reliable pieces that can play every position in the secondary, right? He's out with like a rib cartilage something. So it just seems like, bum no skill. He has a hammy. So, which I'm not happy that he's hurt. Let me fix that. But I kind of feel better that at least, Brendel, I think, is now securing that center spot because Brunskill can't even practice. He's hurt. C Ward, he's also, we know he's hurt. He has a hammy as well. So it's like all these players with hamstring injuries. But like I said, I feel that Jimmy Ward's the most significant one. Obviously, Elijah Mitchell, we would want him back, but we have plenty of running backs, I feel. So your thoughts, do you feel like Jimmy Ward, are we going to, because there were some people like starting spaces, we're going to lose now to the Bears week 1 because Jimmy Ward's out. Like,
Bro.
So what are your guys' feelings on these injuries? Should we like wrap up the season, throw in the towel now, or what do you think?
I swear, it's funny because you go see all these shows and you see all these guys in chat talking it up, and you see them regularly. And I know that they're Niner fans or whatever, but man, some of these people, they're weak. Like, come on, like it's just. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like seeing these injuries, but there's no way that I'm going to be worried about. I mean, of course, we know what Jimmy Ward matters to the team, but like him missing a game against the Bears, if we lose that game, it's not going to be because the Jimmy Ward is gone. It's going to be lots of other reasons to point at of why we would lose that game. If you take the Chicago Bears, you think it's just one position that, like right now we have like one or two positions that we're worried about, maybe 3. The Bears are a freaking dumpster fire. Like, they had a second, for all the people crapping on like some of our picks, Tevin Jenkins, right, was a second round pick. He was going to be like, they loved him at draft time, right? He was like this tough guy, like, hey, he's going to change his whole personality. Well, that guy is like
tackle, right?
Yeah, offensive tackle.
Yeah.
So that guy's been kind of like, it hasn't meshed, right? He hasn't fit with this Eberflus regime, and I watched the presser like on the first week of camp, and it's a complete dumpster fire. It's such a toxic environment that you're hearing this situation that he's in, or we're both in. I don't know who to blame. It's whether it's Tevin or the coach, whatever. It's a problem. So now they want to switch him to guard. Like, the dude's been a left tackle. Now they want to switch him to guard. Drafted in the second round, and there was rumors about trading him. But so, anyways, that's just one position. They have holes all over the place. And then the Roquan Smith,
the trade request.
The trade. He's not even practicing. He's still holding in. And this guy has been like, if you think Chicago Bears, there's only 2 people that come to my mind: Justin Fields and Roquan Smith. Like, I can't really think of anyone. I mean, besides the 2 new rookies that they got, that, Jaquan Brisker, we did all those mock drafts. Everyone was salivating over Brisker, and he's had a great camp from what I'm hearing. And Kyler Gordon, which is a cornerback that, you could see in mock drafts. But anyways, if we lose to the Bears, there's way bigger issues than just, Jimmy Ward being out of the lineup. Come on.
Everybody enter your numbers. We're going to draw soon.
I was going to say, do you want to do that first? You want me to go ahead?
Go ahead. I'll draw once you're done.
You guys said the exact same thing that I was thinking. We had spaces, Monday, I think, Miriah, and there's people that are freaking out saying like, oh yeah, well, I'm concerned with Jimmy Ward being out. And you guys are right. Like, if everybody's healthy, if Treverius Ward and Emmanuel Mosley are healthy, and Hufanga are back there, if we just have to have George Odom play 1 or 2 games, these 2 teams that we're playing, we should have no issues beating them, just like you guys said. So let me tell you the Bears wide receiving core. Darnell Mooney, I'll give him his props. He's a pretty good wide receiver. They have N'Keal Harry, that's hurt for 8 weeks, Dante Pettis, and Equinemius St. Brown. If we can't beat the Bears with that squad, we have more issues than, like you guys said, there's more issues than just Jimmy Ward being out for a game or two. Like that means there's more stuff that's wrong on this roster. You know what I mean? So it's comedy. Like I said, I'm not worried at all. I think the schedule, the way it was set up, was like a blessing because it's like, man, we have like two terrible teams, even
Yeah.
though the Seahawks are the Seahawks. But I'm not really concerned with Geno Smith and Drew Lock at quarterback.
Yeah.
So I'm not really concerned with that. And their offensive line on Seattle was trash, and there's nobody, there's no Russell Wilson back there. So yeah, I'm not concerned at all. It just sucks because we were just talking about Jimmy Ward and praising him, how he was always hurt beginning of his career, and this is a contract year he's going to ball out, which he still will. I'm just I'm not trying to freak nobody out, but it's just one of those things where it's like, man, we've been talking about how he's been healthy the last few years, and then he gets hurt. So it's like, man, yeah, I think we're going to be just fine. There's no issues that's going on, and I think they have another good player. I think they have that Eddie Jackson guy who's pretty good, that safety. But other than that, you're right, SwanSong. There might be like 4 dudes on that defense that we have to worry about, if that. And then that, even if we do struggle, our offense is going to score way more points than their offense, so we shouldn't worry. I think, like Peter was saying, it could be just something where they're just being cautious, which I'll say it again, could be another blessing because it's like we know what Ward can do, both Wards, Emmanuel Mosley. So maybe it's just, okay, we're still up in the air about who we want to keep in the secondary. So let's have the Diomar Lenores and Ambry Thomases and all them stuff get more reps while we sit out these other guys. You know what I mean? So I think that's could be what's going on as well. But week 1, you're right, Miriah. If he's like even questionable, just hold the man out.
Yeah,
There's no reason for that man to go out there being in a questionable status and get hurt by a team that we're probably going to beat by more than 2 or 3 scores, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then you make the injury even worse, and then now that drags to the middle of the season. And another thing is, I'm surprised they haven't picked up a safety or 2, right? I think you mentioned it, Miriah, the Jamar Johnson from Denver, 5th round draft pick that got released. Man, why is this guy like right now? Because I feel bad for this game coming up, right? So we know the starters are not going to play. You know what I mean? So who's going to be in that secondary? Are they going to play the whole game? And then what if we lose one of those guys?
Exactly.
So then what? Like, I'm surprised they didn't bring a guy in to this camp to get him start working right away. And so then when he plays on Thursday, I mean, he can contribute on Thursday, right? Like, he could be one of those, because we have to play a full game, right? And Hufanga was out there for a long time, right? Like, he's probably our starter, right? Presumed starter. He was in that game for a long time, man.
Yeah, he was another person I had wrote down, that because I wrote down a lot on him too, that he played great as well. And that's what worries me too, because I feel like he's going to have to play this game because, like, I know they're holding out our starters, but I mean, he played most of that game, like you said, the first game. So it's like, if he's not playing, we're going to have Moore and Odom play the entire game. And then, like you said, something happens and what?
Yeah, then
like,
what?
Who else is there? It's like, I don't know. It's getting thin, but I mean, they had to make their roster, to release 5 and, cut on their roster. So it's like, if we pick up another safety, we're going to have to let somebody else, drop somebody else.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what the holdup is. I don't know.
And then that's why when I thought, like, when he got hurt, and then I was like, dang, and we can't even put in Johnson because he's hurt.
Yeah.
Because naturally he would be the one, like, okay, Johnson's going up there. He's going to play that whole time. But then he got hurt. And then it's like, oh, well, who now? Demo as a safety? Or something, I guess they have. I don't know who they have.
You got that Taylor Hawkins guy that's back there playing safety. And I mean, we have a few bodies, but like Miriah said, it's getting pretty thin. You know what I mean? So,
Kelts, thank you. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the donation. You stay safe as well.
JV, appreciate you too, brother.
JV, Tia, David, I appreciate y'all, you guys. Thank you so much. Let's do the giveaway. Everybody has your numbers in there? Because if not, too bad. hopefully give you guys 10 more seconds. So I had messaged you this before the show, TL, about Hufanga's his mic'd up. Did you watch that, Swan? The mic'd up that Hufanga had?
Yeah, I saw that. It was cool.
So did you catch where Shanahan tells him, so
Yes.
after Huff makes that hit and pops the ball out or whatever, stops the receiver from getting the ball, and that's, the Womack intercepts it. He goes to the sidelines and Shanahan tells him, "Oh, nice hit. It's nice to have a corner that can finally play quarters." And then they put that on the mic'd up. They actually let that air.
Yeah.
The 49ers site media team puts that on, uses that. They cut through the recording. They don't play everything that's said. They pick and choose what to put on there, and they chose to put that on there. I'm like, wow, that's
hilarious.
So we heard now Jimmy Ward, not take a shot at Tart, but say that him and Huff were the best safety, duo in the league, right? And he never said that when it was him and Tart. I seen another video that came out today on the 49ers site where Ward's telling the camera, this is the best safety in the league about Hufanga. Now we're hearing, Shanahan, taking shots at Tart on freaking the live damn mic'd up, and the 49ers team, putting it out there. Over the offseason too, it's been, rumors were out there in the Twitter mill that Tart wasn't a great teammate when he was with the team this last season, and that something happened, like the way, I think it had to do with the way he was treating Hufanga or something, like that. He just wasn't being a good teammate. So I don't know, maybe there's more to why, the team didn't pick his, didn't sign him back, and why he was out there in free agency for so long, why he's now, with the Eagles on the third string.
As a third string? Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, we're drawing. Let's see. 90.
Let me see. I got Collie with 95. Let me keep scrolling here.
Yeah, that was funny. So let's see what else we have while you look for that.
I thought it was cool that Hufanga has an individual handshake for all the players.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
Yeah, it's
the coaches, everybody.
That. Yeah, it's awesome.
Each person, he goes and they have some different kind of handshake that they do with the different players. Even him and Bosa have one. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
It's like Collie's the winner. That's funny how you guys say that. Reminds me of something. So my youngest daughter's a cheerleader, and then the basketball team for her junior high, there's this one kid who, when they're doing the introductions, he stands at the end of the line and they introduce him last. But when they introduce the other team, he has a different handshake and how he celebrates when they're called for every single one of them. And he's only 12 or 13 years old. And I think it's so cool that he has that mindset to be able to have a different handshake and a celebration for everybody that gets called. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how he remembers that, because it's and it's not just some little simple thing. They're pretty long, all this different shit that he goes into them. And something else about the game I forgot, about Trey Lance, running down and getting everybody's touchdown balls for them. And Purdy, he even went on air talking about it. And then Croc has, he does the quarterback show, and he has the quarterback coach on there. And he's friends with Purdy's quarterback coach. And Purdy even talked to his quarterback coach after that, telling him, oh, Trey, ran down there and got my touchdown ball for me and blah, blah, blah. That's a big deal. The starting quarterback of your team running down there and getting, touchdown balls for everybody. Yeah. And we always touch on the guy, that Trey Lance is. And, that just further shows, what a great guy he is.
Absolutely.
All right,
Congratulations, Collie. You're the winner.
Congratulations. Let's see what we got.
I finally get your name right.
You're going to be happy with this one. Brandon Ayuk, numbered 58 out of 149, youth movement. Well, you can't see because we got the red light special up in here, so you see it when you get it.
I'm gonna call you TLC. Got that red light special
Yeah.
going on.
Congratulations. We're gonna have a show Saturday this week, so we'll touch on the Vikings and the Vikings practice and everything then. What else did you guys want to touch on? Anything you guys have? Anything
No,
else about the game before we
uh,
wrap that up?
no. Other than Saturday too, we're gonna be on with Gina tomorrow. So we're gonna give you guys, we're gonna bless you guys with 3 shows this week. You know what I'm saying? So this one tomorrow at 5:45 Pacific Standard Time. So for you East Coast cats, 8:45, and then we're gonna have a 1 p.m. show on Saturday. So Collie, when you're out there delivering your mail, make sure you tune in.
Yep. And we're trying to get Steph on Saturday's show. We're still working on if she's going to be able to work at that time or not. And she's been out, she was in Santa Clara for the 49ers training camps, and now she's over there for the Vikings training camps as well. I mean, they're the joint practices with the Vikings. So if we can't get her on Saturday, she'll definitely be on, within the next week or so we can get, firsthand info from what's going on down there. Since she has her
Yeah.
boots on the ground, Collie's on vacation.
Oh, so you get to chill. You ain't got time for work. I feel you, man. I'll be on vacation. I'll be on vacation in a couple weeks. Can't wait till I hit San Diego.
Nice.
Swan, before we wrap it up, you have any final words before I go?
No, just thanks for having me. And gosh, the season's like 3 weeks away.
We're not going off yet, but you don't have to give no final thoughts yet because we still have to give some more giveaways. So
Yeah.
Right on.
What you call it? Yeah, just looking at this game. I mean, like I said, I felt like we found our nickel corner. And before everything started, I had mentioned before the show started that I honestly thought it was going to be Jason Verrett, because I don't even know what's going on with him yet. Like I don't know if they're going to hold him out all preseason, because I saw him running around. Somebody said he was like 90%. He's not 100% yet, but 90% Verrett is still very good. You know
Kyle
what I
said
mean?
he doubts that he'll be even ready for the first game.
It's the
So
first game, so he
Yeah.
might be like on the short-term pup or something like that.
maybe.
So maybe he'll miss like 3 games. So, but yeah, I'm glad that that the secondary is looking good. We know the defensive line is going to eat. We know the defensive line is going to eat. I think the only thing is, that offensive line. I'm going to keep beating that horse until I see different. I'm just worried for Trey. I like that. I saw that Kyle was putting him in shotgun some, on during this game. So yeah, I think once the O line gets some continuity, and then two, like I've heard all through camp, like Kyle still hasn't showed his hand and had like a 4 wide receiver set yet. So once we have a 4 wide receiver set, whether it's McLeod or Gray, whoever the case may be, just the fact that you're gonna have Kittle lined up along with Ayuk, Debo, Juwan Jennings, and possibly Gray or McLeod, like it's all about picking your poison. And Ayuk, I'm taking Ayuk and Debo all day, single coverage on the corner. I'm taking Kittle all day, single coverage on the linebacker. So it's going to be ugly for us.
Dude,
Everybody's been
great.
and
But
everybody's been dogging the run game. But I feel like the part of the run game not being successful is because of this offensive line. So I think once the offensive line gets better, I think the running game is going to get better as well. So
yeah, I mean, what's the common theme always, right? About the 49ers. Like we always worry about the O line, right? And don't get me wrong, there's definitely reason to worry, but it seems like they've been getting it done. Like they get it done, right? So I'm hopeful for that. One thing I wanted to say was, did you guys see the pictures afterwards? Wasn't paying attention during the game about that, but do you see the pictures of Trey and Kyle on the sidelines?
Yeah.
Like,
oh
I've
yeah,
I
never
noticed
seen
that
Kyle
during the
so
game.
relaxed and happy. And I think what it is I bet you, because all the things that we hear about Trey, right? He is a savant. He's a student of the game. Like Kyle probably appreciates so much that this quarterback is in lockstep mentally in the game with him, right? That is like, he just seems like, man, this is going to be great. Like Kyle probably gets pissed the most, not that you don't execute, but that you don't make the play right. You know what I mean? Like you're not doing the right thing. You're not doing the intelligent thing. Because I
Yeah.
know, like everyone knows, everyone's human. They're going to miss passes. They're going to miss. But if you make the right decisions, you know that Kyle's going to be happy with you. You make the wrong decisions, you're in his doghouse, right?
Yeah.
And so to see him so relaxed and with all the things that we've heard about Trey, whether it's from NDSU interviews, interviewing his players and coaches and everyone from his past, and then all the things we've been hearing lately that we didn't hear last year so much, is that it just, man, it's a good thing. And when he gets his reps going and when he gets the rhythm of the game and all those things in sync, as well as his confidence, dude, watch out. Like, I'm so excited. I mean, granted, it's not a for sure thing because we know in the NFL, nothing's for sure. But when all of that happens, whether it's, the end of this year, the middle of this year, next year, or whatever in that timeline, we know that he's improving. We know that he's going to do the best that he can to improve. It's not going to be a question of, oh, well, is he working that hard? Because it's not that. Like, whatever you doubt Trey Lance, it's not going to be about him caring or him working his butt off. Like, he's a perfectionist, right? So he's going to want to do all those things. Sure, we don't know what can happen, at any point, right? It's whether it's, injuries, that plays a big part in the NFL. I don't even want to say it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's I'm really dreaming of the day when all that comes to line, and then we finally have the quarterback that this fan base deserves. And I want to just have like all those fans that missed the golden years of Montana and Young, right? That missed all of that. Like, there is a chance now with this kid. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is a chance that we see that again. And I want the Niner fans that didn't see that to get to feel that. And then they're going to understand why. They're going to understand why all the OG guys don't like Jimmy. Then they're going to go, oh, man, you were right. Just like you're just like a parent when they tell you something, the kids are like, man. Or like when I was younger and I saw my parents, I'm never going to do that when I have kids. And then sure enough, I'm looking back and like, oh, man, yeah, they were freaking right. They were right. So I'm looking forward to that day, guys.
You make a good point too, Swang, about about doing what you're told and stuff like that. I heard it with Robert Kimdiche because I thought he played pretty well against the Packers, but I heard that Kyle told him to stop throwing the players to the ground. And then I think he did it twice. And after that, like, he got cut. It's like, come on, bro. Like, if Kyle's telling you, Kyle don't play that. Like, if you don't do what he says, you're gonna be on his list, and then you don't want to be on that list. So yeah, I heard that he did it once, and Kyle was like, "Hey, stop throwing the players to the ground." This is that. He did it twice, and all of a sudden he's cut. He was the last cut too. So yeah, you gotta be paying attention to detail and going out there and doing your thing, man. It's crazy that a vet. It's not like it's a rookie. He's a vet out there. He's been playing for a while, and then he wasn't even paying attention to what Kyle was telling him. So.
Yeah, because that stuff, if you let that fester, that causes division, right? That causes other players to then go, well, if he does that and he's not consistent, then subconsciously as a person, as a human being, another person is going to do it, right? It's just like anything, right? Just like with kids or me. Hell, my wife lets me get away with stuff. I'll get away with it. You know what I mean? Come on.
Enter your numbers, everybody. Let's do a giveaway. And then I wasn't ignoring your guys' questions. I starred them, so I was saving them. So we'll answer your guys' questions before you leave. If you have any more questions, go ahead and send them out. What's up, Steve-O? He says, take the headset off, Trey. You're a starter now. JV, the payment info, Venmo, and Cash App is in the description in the link of the video. But I can send it to you as well. But yeah, both the info should be there in the description to the video. And again, I appreciate you guys, Swan. I appreciate you matching everybody. That's awesome of you.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
My pleasure, guys. My pleasure.
And then Peter, thanks. Have a great show. Everybody, if you're not subscribed to Niner Fanatic Podcast, make sure you do so. Peter's a
Peter
great
runs a
guy.
good
He has a
show.
show tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, enter your numbers, everybody. We'll do another random giveaway, and then right before, once we get done with your questions, we'll do this Jalen Moore card. Let's see what we had over here. So David McNew had asked, who are the 9 O-line that we keep? We don't have to each, give 9, but we can go through it as a group, like who we think that they're going to keep.
Yeah. I think the obvious ones, other than the starters, so that's 5 right there who we're going to keep. I think that the extra 4 we keep, I'm going Brunskill. He will keep him. I think it'll be Jalen Moore. I think it'll be Jordan Mills. She needs to be kept. One more. Ooh. I don't know, man. Zakelj, I don't think stays. But anyway, those are my 8.
I think I agree with all the ones you picked there.
Uh-huh.
I think McKivitz will be one because
Yeah.
McKivitz had said that, because all of last year he was working at left tackle, right?
Mhm.
And he says he's played right tackle before, and it's like riding a bike for him, but it usually takes him a week or whatever to get back into that mode. I know it's been about a week since he's been playing right tackle, so I wouldn't. I mean, I know that he's had a bad performance, but hey, he came up clutch for us, dude, and that goes a long way, right? Like on that Rams game when Trent was out, and we were like, "Oh no, we're doomed."
Yeah.
Like McKivitz and Von Miller were dead, right? And then he
Yep.
held it down.
He
So
did.
dude, when you prove it in a game like that, which is essentially a playoff game, all the players trust you. Even Trent said it. I probably shouldn't have played the NFC Championship game. I think McKivitz would have been better. And if Trent's not just gonna say that, dude, right? Like he's not just gonna say that. And coaches know, like when you perform when the lights are on, you gain trust, right? And
It's true.
sure, you know what I mean? So it's like I think for sure he's a lock. Like I know that he had a bad practice today, but I for sure think he's a lock. And then other guys I think you put in the practice squad, right? And they can protect 4, but man, we got a lot of because you don't want to lose Poe. You don't want to lose Zakel because Zakel could play center as well, which I think he was a third-team center. And if you look at Zakel's RAS score, the one that I posted to you guys, his center score is like, I want to say probably, I bet you it's like probably top 20 of all time. Like his athletic score was like top 20, top 30 of all time. So is Brendel's. Brendel's is like insane. Yeah. Like his RAS score is like through the roof. So I don't think they're going to be willing to let go of those guys. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
I think you're right. I think School, Poe, and West will be cut and then be put on the practice squad.
Yeah, I agree. Whatever you guys said.
Miriah.
Yeah, I hope we don't lose Poe. I hope because we have 4 of those protected slots. One of them's probably going to go to Ball, that linebacker, right?
Yeah. If he doesn't make the team.
If he doesn't make the team, it's gonna because they would have to trade someone, right? Because they brought in Oren Burks. They're not going to get right because they gave him money, right?
I think there's 4 safe linebackers for now. I think, obviously the main 3, Aziz, Dre Greenlaw, Warner, and then Oren Burks. I think after that, it's up in the air. Maybe Flanagan falls just because he knows the system.
Yeah, right.
But he's in his last year, so who knows if they just say, "Oh, we'll just go ahead and trade." I'm like, who knows?
Yeah.
But I think McCrary Ball is what we thought Leon O'Neal was supposed to be, if I'm keeping it real, and I think he'll be that Marcel Harris type role. The linebacker / safety,
He's fast, dude. He runs like a 4.5 40.
Yeah.
And that guy is like pretty built. Like he ain't no small dude.
Yeah,
the guy's like a bowling ball. Too. Yeah, man. Would you want to imagine that guy on special teams coming at you? Like hell no.
And I keep hearing great things about Poe. So, like, I don't know if
Yeah.
they're going to risk trying to put him through to the practice squad because he's playing great at center. He can play across the entire line. So,
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
good.
So they have 4 protected slots, right? They have 4 of them that they.
but
can
we have
use.
to get him to the practice squad
They
to
have to get
begin
him.
with.
Yeah, he has to clear
Oh,
the
really?
waivers.
Yeah, you have to clear
yeah.
waivers to get reverted back to the practice
Yeah.
squad.
Oh,
So
man.
it's no for sure that we're going to get any of these guys to the practice squad if we try
That's
to do that.
scary.
Yeah.
So
What's up, Rohan?
the protected slot only counts after you cleared waivers.
Yep.
Once you're on the practice squad, so now with the new
damn.
rule is now you can keep 16 players on the practice squad.
Dude, I better not
Then
see
you
him as a Seahawk,
Yeah.
bro.
I know. So you
Yeah,
can keep
that's what I'm
16 players,
saying.
and then you can keep 4. But like Miriah said, he has to make it to our practice squad. So if somebody doesn't swoop him up and put him on their 53 man, then we're going to be screwed because then we're going to lose him off outright. So yeah.
What do you guys think if they took 5 receivers?
The way it's looking, I mean, the way it's looking, I'd rather probably keep 5 receivers and keep an extra running back. By the way, it's
That's
looking.
what I did on our
Yeah.
roster breakdown.
Oh,
I
with
kept
Mason,
5.
right? With Mason, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
just because of the injuries with Elijah Mitchell, and I don't know. I wouldn't be. I had originally predicted 6 receivers and 4 running backs. I thought, but now it might be 5 and 5, depending on what's going on. So yeah.
I don't think Mason will make it to the practice squad if they
I
let him go.
think he's
so
gone. Him or
and he's looked great in training camp. He looked great in the game. Like, I don't know.
How many tight ends?
Enter your numbers, guys.
How many tight ends did we carry on the 53?
I think only 3, right?
3, yeah.
It was it was Kittle, Warner, and then Dwelly. But
what
I
if they
think
do
maybe
2?
and then keep like Kyle Juszczyk as an emergency tight end, as
Yeah,
a
and
third
then-
tight end.
Yeah, and then maybe Dwelly.
Bryant, we're gonna get to all the questions. I have
If
them
you-
starred.
If you cut Dwelly, then maybe he reverts to the practice squad, right? Like you know what I mean? It's like, would you have to take a chance on losing Dwelly or losing someone like Poe or Mason?
I don't
right?
have Dwelly making the final.
She don't have
team
Dwelly making it, and if he
He's a
does get
scrub.
cut, he's getting picked up by somebody as a third tight end.
Because
Mike McDaniel might probably pick him up or something, or
yeah, I
Good.
can see that.
yeah.
I'd much rather him be over there. We're not ignoring your question. I see the questions. I have them starred. They go to a different list. So yeah, you don't have to keep posting it and yelling at me. I can see the questions there. What's up, Rohan? All right, we're gonna pick
Another giveaway.
Yep.
I'm gonna go to where you said enter your numbers. All right.
77.
All righty. Let's see.
Remember, those in the chat, I'm matching any donations that are given to this pod right now. By the way, there's been multiple people that have donated already. Thank you for those people that donated. I know I haven't been really paying attention to the chat, so I thank you all for your generosity.
It looks like Shachi won with 69.
All right. And John V said, love that you're matching our donations, Swan. You are a great person. Truly mean that, bro.
Let me take a second look before I make
And I
make
agree.
people excited.
You are a great person, Swan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You said 77, right, Miriah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also make
Yeah,
sure
69.
if you guys didn't see it, Jesse from Last Second Sports, he did another interview with Trey's quarterback coach last night. It was a great interview. So make sure if you guys haven't watched that you go watch that because it was great.
Yeah, that is must see. Like any of those interviews, you can go see all 4 of Sean McAvoy's interviews. And I love that last interview because it's so funny because I was laughing when he was saying about the fan base just going crazy, of like the incompletions and the wobble. Like he thought that was funny, and I love the point that he made. That is like, hey, this is not just happening in a bubble. You go to every one of these camps with the quarterbacks there, they're making the same comments about like young quarterbacks with the ball wobbling, right? And like it's because when Aaron Rodgers does it, when Patrick Mahomes does it, or any of those other guys do it, they're not. You don't mention it because you already know what they could do, right? It's like the mystery quarterback that you don't know. Of course, everyone's going to be like, "Oh no, is that look right, guys? I don't know if that looks right. Wait, is this arm? Is he throwing sidearm now? Like, what does it look like, guys? Like, it's going to be all right, boys. Like, everyone, it's going to be okay. You know, these coaches that get paid a lot of money, you know, they see all this stuff too. So if it was a
Yeah.
huge concern, they'd be on it. You know, they're paying millions of dollars. Oh, I'm guessing that's how much they pay to 3D QB to have a guy literally watching him and traveling up north to talk to Trey during these times. So they're on it, like, you know. So
Yeah.
Yep, I
don't
agree.
worry.
Yeah, their livelihood like relies on this kid succeeding, you know. So
Yeah.
let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Trey Lance, speak of the devil. Congratulations. And Kali, I saw, yeah, that you said you'll DM me your address. Shajay, if you could please do the same, DM me your mailing info. And once I do mail day, then I'll get it sent off to you. Congratulations. We appreciate you. All right, let's see what our other questions here were before we get out of here. So I had started this. I know Kelts has already left, but he said, I've only been on social media for 1.5 years, and the vibes right now seem amazing. Are the current vibes the best they've been the past, let's say, 5 years? What do you guys think?
I'm in the same boat as Kelts. Like, I've always been a Niner fan, but like, I live in LA, right? So, and all my brothers are Rams fans. All the people around me are a bunch of Rams fans, right? And there's every time I talk about the Niners back since I was a kid, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, my name's Ty, by the way. Yeah, Ty, he's going off on his Niners again. This is when we were killing everyone." So I was the annoying guy, you know, like, yeah, you guys are all a bunch of poverty franchises, you know, and stuff like that. So I never had a community to talk to, you know, about Niners. You know, I tried Reddit, but Reddit, I found out it's just too toxic, and everyone thinks that they're smarter than the other guy, and it's annoying, right? Here you can pick and choose what community you want to listen to, right? So it's like when I hopped on here and saw the communities that, and a lot of people, there's a lot of good fans, good people that you can connect with, right? I mean, sure, there's trolls, but I don't pay much attention to them. Like, once in a while, I'll try to, you know, put them in their place, but for the most part, I ignore them and I just concentrate on the good people, like, you know, the people that talk about, you know, that know ball, that talks about things, and then just fans. Like, even if you don't know anything or know little, but you're just a good fan, like, that's always refreshing to see, right? Like, so I think it's amazing. Like, I wish this was around when I was a kid. Like, I totally wish this was around when I was a kid, but I'm glad I found it now.
Before you go, Tia,
Yeah.
start entering your numbers. We'll do this Jalen Moore autographed card giveaway. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, as far as the vibe, yeah, I definitely think it's a lot better than how it's been in 5 years. I mean, since Kyle has taken over the team as the head coach, I think this is the best overall roster that he's had. You know, he seems real giddy, like he's just on the sideline smiling and enjoying the conversation with the teammates and joking around. And you know, it just, and I think, you know, the fact that this is the first time in his career, which is crazy. It's like, you know, I know he hasn't been a head coach for a long time, but you know, he's been an offensive coordinator for a long time, and usually offensive coordinators, you know, will have some kind of a say so of like, oh, this is who I want to run this offense. But this is the first time in his coaching career that he actually got to pick his guy. Like, this is the guy I want to run this offense. This is a guy who I want leading this team to opportunity to get a 6th Super Bowl. So yeah, I haven't been this excited in a long time. I think the last time I was excited was probably 2012, like the year that we played Baltimore in the Super Bowl. Like, that right there was like, I was so excited because Harbaugh had us. I think we had started off like 8-1 that year, and it was unexpected. That's what it was too. It's like,
Yeah,
he came in and it wasn't like I was like, oh, I think the Niners are gonna go 12-4. Like when he went 8-1, I was just like, oh my goodness, like, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it. So I was so excited about what was going on. So other than that year, this is the most I've been excited about 49ers football in a long time.
Yeah, I was excited that year. And I was excited, like, I felt a different vibe around the team in 2019. But overall, like, and it might be because I'm more involved, in the football right now than I was any of those times. But yeah, this is the most excited that I've ever been for a 49ers team, for a season, for football in general. Obviously Trey Lance has a lot to do with that because, I mean, if you're a fan of this team and not, some weirdo, then you're excited for the future and for what this kid can bring to this team and this franchise. So, yeah, I think, after such a hard like off season and last season, like with all the drama between the fans and the fighting between the court, about the quarterbacks, and like it was just so much negativity, and like it was draining, honestly, like all the hate and people just fighting constantly. Like it's just refreshing to get back to football, to have the situation almost completely dealt with and over, and just be able to focus, on the actual 49ers and the team. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and I'll say this too. It's like the fact that Jimmy's hopefully going to be off this team here pretty soon. There's still going to be some Trey Lance haters, but it's not going to be as bad because we're not going to have two quarterbacks on the team that that could possibly be starters, and then we're just going back and forth. I mean, this last, like Miriah said, this last off season was insane. I have never heard of a fan base so against each other, and everybody was just like, well, we had the same situation with Steve Young and Joe Montana when Joe Montana left and all this stuff, but and maybe just because it's social media or whatever the case may be, but it was ugly. Like I've never seen a fan base be such at each other's throats, people wanting to meet up so they can fight. I mean,
Yeah.
name calling, like it was just crazy. I'm like, you guys are sitting here fighting and arguing over two dudes who don't even know your name.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
This is weird.
So it's weird. It's weird behavior, man. So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, 94. I was 15 years old. I remember going to the Super Bowl that year, and I think we played the San Diego Chargers at the time. Yeah, we beat the Chargers in that Super Bowl, and yeah, that was awesome. But I mean, I love football then, I've grown to love football more as I've gotten older. Like I've always loved the game because I played and stuff, but like I said, besides 2012, this is the most excited I've been in a very long time.
And yeah, and then the great thing too now is that I learned so much in this last year about football, which like I'm very appreciative of that. Like I've learned so much than what I thought I knew before, which wasn't much, but like I've learned so much, like, and confirmed some things too. So that was as is good as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, JV, we're doing the giveaway right now for the Jalen Moore card. So enter your numbers, last call, and I'll do it after during this question. Brian asked, does the pup list count against the 53 man? Once you go on the pup, you count against the 90 man. Once it goes down, you do not count against the 53. Once they release you from the pup, you have like 2 weeks or whatever for them to activate you to the 53.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as I know, no, it doesn't count against the active 53 man roster. Callie says, what do you guys think about Sermon? And I had wrote down some notes about this as well. Sermon, to me, like I had high hopes. He had looked like so much work in this off season, and then we get into the first preseason game, and I feel like Sermon looked like he looked last year. Like he's dancing around too much. He's undecisive. He doesn't just hit a hole and go. He's taking too much time back there. Like, and that's something that like I love about TDP is he hits a hole and he's gone. He goes. Like he's gonna bruise through, push through, like he's not back there dancing like, oh, should I go here? Should I go there? Should I go there? Oh no, now it's too late. Like that's what the thing about Trey Sermon that aggravates the shit out of me. So yeah, that's my thoughts about him. obviously we know where he was drafted, so it's not like he's not going to make this team. The only way I feel like he's not on this team come week 1 is if he gets traded. So yeah, thoughts,
What you
Trey
think,
Sermon.
What you think, Swan?
I like Sermon. I get the criticism about him dancing, and hopefully he keeps on improving on that. That last game, I know that he didn't have very good numbers, but if you look at the runs, there was reasons why he didn't get any yardage, like
Yeah,
on the
that
runs
whole
that were
line
just
ain't helping.
just blowing
Yeah.
up. I thought he did a couple good things, and the one thing that I do trust Sermon, and I like TDP. Don't get me wrong, I love this running, man. It was, to me, eye opening. I was like, wow, that was good. That one run that where he cuts, he gets like 10 yards, and he's about to make a cut to the right, and he kind of trips. And he probably would have got another 10, 15 more yards off of that, right? It looks
Yeah.
so, he just looks so fast, strong, and he can move, right? So, the only thing about the thing that worries me about TDP is his catching, right?
Mhm.
Because we heard it. I remember Grant had mentioned like this guy doesn't catch very well, and then
But we don't
I,
need all our
yeah,
running backs to
yeah,
catch. So
it's
No.
I mean,
yeah,
his
it's true.
job
We don't.
to run the ball.
Right, it's true. It's his job to run the ball, but at the same time, a lot of those checkdowns that happen on on a West Coast offense is that check down to that running back, right? And you need someone to be reliable to catch that. So he needs to improve that for sure. Like I like him a lot, but he needs to improve that.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
agree. There's always something to work on, but I mean, Jamar Chase couldn't catch last training camp either. So,
Yeah, that's true.
you
It's a good point.
Yeah.
know, that's what training camp's for.
Yeah. So me personally, I think Trey Sermon is the more talented running back out of the two. I think he's just more talented than TDP. However, TDP has been showing more because he's more when he gets the ball more decisive, not dancing around. And who cares if you have more talent? If you're doing what the playbook telling you to do, then you're gonna get the nod. You know what I mean? I just think that Trey Sermon, he's too physical to be sitting there dancing around. It's not like he's Darren Sproles or one of these smaller guys back there trying to find the open. And
Yeah.
so it's like he needs a hit. He kind of reminds me, and this is I wonder if it's an Ohio State thing. He kind of reminds me like of Carlos Hyde, how he used to run here. 6 foot, 225 pounds, and yet he's sitting here dancing. I'm like, dude, you're too physical to be doing that. So Trey needs to be more decisive, and he needs to just be I don't know what it is. I truly thought that TDP coming in that it was going to push him a little bit. And I'm not saying it hasn't, but I thought like Trey Sermon would be more hungry. And Callie's right, like he's an Ohio State fan, and I know he was really high on Sermon coming in, and he feels the way about Sermon like I do with Ambry Thomas right now because we know that they have the talent, but they're not showing it in practice or in games. But you're right, Swan, and I think you might have said it too, Miriah. There was this one run where it was like 2nd and 2 where he gained like 8-9 yards, and I felt like he made a decisive move. He got the ball and he hit that hole. So they need to go back and look at the film and say, look, this is the
Do
running
that.
we need from you. This is the
Yeah.
running we need from you because what you're doing back out is dancing. And like you said, too, maybe it's one of those things where he doesn't trust the offensive line either, where he's just like, man, I don't know where to go, where I'm going to get hit. But, the offensive line has been shaky at best. So I don't know. We have a couple weeks to figure this out. I truly think he makes a team, even if he's a fourth guy on the depth chart. I think he could possibly still make it. But, like Miriah mentioned, I think a show or two ago, holding on to these draft picks may not be the norm anymore because now we have a stacked roster. Like I felt like Kyle would keep his guys, these Jalen Hurds and stuff like a year or two too long because he wanted to get something out of them. Now I don't think we can afford to do that. If an undrafted guy is looking better than a fourth or third rounder, then so be it. You want the best players, and it's not a popularity contest on when you got drafted. So,
Yep. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Denise. Denise, enter a number. We're about to do a giveaway right now. Let me see. I think that was it. I don't think I missed any. If I did, what's up, Ryan? Enter your number. We're about to do the final giveaway right now. I appreciate you guys all again for coming through.
Emiliano's funny. He said Carlos Hyde danced way more than 2022 version of Sermon. Hyde used to get on my last nerves with that. Man, he's yeah, that was. I just don't get it. Like, these some of these running backs, like Matt Breida, for instance. Like, if he were doing a little bit of dancing, I would have been like, okay, it made to me it would have made more sense. You're 5'9",
Yeah.
180 pounds. You're 6 foot, 225, 230. You shouldn't be back there dancing.
Yeah. I agree. All right, let's do this final giveaway. I
You think
see them.
Hasty's gone?
I
Yes.
don't know. I mean, I've been having him on the outside, and he actually was the best running back in the preseason game. So I don't know if we can end up trading him, or I don't know
Yeah.
if they just release him and see if he can make it to the practice squad. I
Yeah.
don't think he does, but
No. And see, me, I thought Jeff Wilson was on the way out, but now I don't know about him either because I've heard. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't. I
just
don't know who. I don't know who. I don't.
yeah.
I'm still sticking with Hasty and Jeff Wilson out of here.
Gone. Yeah, that's who me and Miriah predicted too. That they'll both be gone. I think Jordan Mason will be the one who stays, but I don't know, man. With Kyle, who knows? But I heard that Jeff Wilson's been looking good. And one thing I will say about Kyle, if it's a question mark on who he wants to keep, he's going to go with the person he trusts.
No, yeah,
You
definitely.
know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Melissa, she's going for people's throats already. I'm not worried about Juwan Jennings either because, like the same I just said about Jamar Chase, like he dropped every single ball that was thrown to him during the preseason last year and didn't have no issues during the regular season. So I'm not worried about it. We haven't seen issues
yeah,
during the season from Juwan Jennings, and I'm not going to start worrying
I
about it
feel like
now.
Juwan Jennings is more of a gamer. Like when
Yeah,
the light, like you said, Swan, when the lights are on, he's gonna perform. That's how I feel about Juwan. Like he's like, oh, he's like the Allen Iverson right now. We're talking about practice, but once I
yeah.
get on that field on week 1, week 2, when it counts, I don't feel like he's gonna be having these issues. Honestly,
Yeah, and when you have the trust of your coaches and teammates because you actually proved it, that goes a long way, man, right? Until it's proven otherwise in a game, right? And it's not like he's dogging it. Like you saw him working with not all the time, but he worked down south with those guys too. Like he went down there with Ayuk and Trey,
he did.
right? So it's like if he wasn't just loafing, right? So it's like if you're going to put in the work and you actually showed it last year, and that's the last thing that you've actually showed, that goes a long way to teammates and coaches.
Yeah. Before you get to the stuff, Mariah, the numbers, and here's the thing I will say about Jennings. First of all, Kyle had praised him and said he was having a good camp. So Kyle doesn't even think the drops are an issue. So I don't know if
Yeah.
somebody asked. I don't know if somebody asked about Juwan Jennings, but here's another reason why he ain't going nowhere. We're a running team, and he's arguably the best blocking wide receiver on this team.
You know what's
Yep.
interesting? It made me think this is did you guys see the press conference today with Bosa?
Yeah, I did.
So Bosa goes, he says he talks about Kamiko Ture. You obviously know that he's going to make the team, and people have some people have Hyder on the bubble, right? And then he goes on to say, how Hyder keeps on getting better. Like some guys, start camp real strong and then they dip. Hyder gets on better like all the time, and he's like, and then he said, uh, something like he's going to be part of a big factor for this team, right? So you already know Hyder's going to make the team, right? You know what I mean? It's not like Bosa's a coach or anything, but Bosa doesn't mince words, and you probably know that like they give him a lot of credit, right? Of you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
Like
they've
Yeah,
all
yeah, I
been
understand.
talking up
yeah,
Hyder, talking about how
yeah,
he's such a great leader, he's such a good team guy. Even during the game, the broadcasters were talking about Hyder and how the Seahawks made him play out of position, made him play like 20, 30 pounds overweight. And that the 49ers, just love him. Like we know he's, the coach favorite and everything. So yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, and he was getting pressures. It's not
Yep.
like he was dogging it on
Yeah, I
that.
like
He
Hyder.
was getting pressures.
yeah.
All right, let's
Ready for the
see.
numbers?
Yep.
All right, let me see if I can find it now because I wasn't paying attention. Hold on.
Dang, all high numbers. 84.
Dang. Okay, here we go.
Good luck. Good luck.
JV 10. Let's not too many numbers in this last one. 55.
84. Let's see, 80. see 80 the closest.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out too. Yep, I see the same.
All right. Congrats, Tia. She's taken over John's spot as the biggest winner, I think. She has the most winnings, I think. Congratulations. Autographed Jalen Moore card.
Nice. Jalen Moore is hurt right now, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Seems like our whole offensive line is hurt. Moore, Mike
Half
McGlinchey,
the fucking team is hurt right now.
Brunskill.
Yeah.
At least we haven't had like any real, knock on wood,
Yeah.
serious injuries.
Yeah.
Like we've had one season ending, and it wasn't to like a,
it was like it was Hurst and Matthews, huh? Like you said, even though it sucks, but it's dudes that were probably on the bubble,
Yeah. Congrats. Final thoughts. Let's get out of here. Swan.
Oh no! I just thanks for having me. It was an awesome show, and you guys deserve all the success, and I'll be here for all of it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you. You can come on anytime. You're the third member on our non-existent payroll, so
Yeah. Callie, sorry. See, I'm messing up again. Collie.
See, you yelled at me.
I know.
That's why you
Collie,
keep messing up.
Yep, I agree with you, Collie. Scout with your head and not your heart. I totally agree. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you guys pretty much said everything. It's going to be an interesting game on Saturday. What I'm looking for is somebody to step up in that secondary. I want to see like a great game. Like I think obviously Samuel Womack showed us what he can do, but I want to see Ambry Thomas, De'Amar Lenore, Tariq Castro Fields, somebody go out there and compete. I want them to make it hard on this coaching staff. I want this coaching staff to have a headache when they're doing their final cuts, because it's going to be that good that you have to cut somebody that you don't want to. So that's what I want to see on Saturday. And also, they said Trey's not going to play, but I want to see some more continuity on that offensive line. Like I just want that interior. I want I don't know. I heard today that if we were playing the game, Trey would have taken 4 sacks. So that we need to clean that up ASAP. Like I know the first game's not until September 11th, but it's right around the corner, and we need to get some people healthy. And just so those two, I think those two things. I say I'll give it 3 things. I'll give it the who's going to step up in the secondary besides the starters. I want to see offensive line continuity, and I want to see somebody separate themselves in this running game. I want somebody to separate themselves. So I know Elijah Mitchell's hurt, but who wants that number 2 job? Because right now I feel like it's up in the air. I keep hearing about Jeff Wilson taking second team reps. Then I hear that now it's TDP, now it's Sermon. So Sermon's the one who started the game against the Packers. So we need to understand like what's going on, and somebody needs to separate themselves in that secondary and in that running back room. So those are my final thoughts.
Yeah. Emiliano, he says, some always want to take subtle shots at Hyder with he only gets hustle sacks, but the key word there is hustle. The coaches and teammates see that effort. And I agree 100%.
Yeah, that's facts.
Like I hate, when like even, with Bosa, like you see him chasing, players down and stuff. Like I hate when you see guys on the D line like, oh, well, the play moved away from the area that I am, so I'm just gonna, stand here, or like, no, fucking run your ass down there. I don't care if you're 350 fucking pounds, get down there.
Hey, what's funny about that too? I remember when I was playing JUCO, one of our linebackers did that. He was chasing the running back. And then the running back he ran away from him, and he stopped running. Then the running back cut back and went the opposite direction. So if he was hustling, he would have been there to make the tackle. Yeah. But because he stopped hustling, the running back ran right past him. So ever since then, I'm like, man, you never stop hustling, because you never know what the ball carrier is going to do on that football field, ever.
Yeah. Melissa says, Miriah, it's still the 26th, right? A little over a week. Yes, the 1-year anniversary show is on Friday the 26th. We're going to have, Melissa's going to be on here, John B. We got Nitty Gritty coming through, Mike from Nothing But Niners, 49er minded. We have a bunch of people coming through.
I
So
think Peter too, huh? Right.
yeah,
So we
make
have a
sure you
lot of
guys
people. Yeah.
come. We got tons of giveaways. Again, for anybody that wasn't here last time, we're giving away this Bryant Young signed Beckett certificate.
Damn.
Hall of Famer.
And then we have as well a hat, some things for the car,
Yeah, we
a
have license
49er
plates.
scarf, some
Yeah.
other goodies that we're giving, a shirt. So yeah, we have all kinds of stuff happening that day. So
Yeah.
that'll be Friday evening. So make sure you guys stop by, come say hey, celebrate our 1-year anniversary, and you know what's to come this season. Like I said earlier, we're going to have a show on Saturday morning on this channel as well, or no, afternoon, sorry,
Yeah.
at 1 Pacific Standard
1 Pacific
Time.
time. Yeah. 4 o'clock East Coast, and so forth. So.
And so we'll do our thoughts, on the Vikings game coming up later that evening, and we'll break that all down, and anything that happened during the Vikings practices, today and tomorrow as well. So yeah, we hope to see you guys all here. Again, I appreciate you all. I appreciate everybody that donated. It's so I don't even have words to tell you guys how much I appreciate you. Swan, thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. You've done above and beyond everything. And thank you again for having Chris Roscoe's make us our artwork and everything. I truly appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. You guys deserve it.
Well, appreciate that, sir.
TL, thank you for being an amazing co-host. Thank you for everything that you do. I love you forever.
Thank you.
Everybody stay safe. We'll see you guys Saturday.
Yes, take care, fam.
Oh, let me put you almost made me forget my outro. Where is it? Hold on, guys. Don't leave. I don't know where my damn outro went. Man. Here it is.